So at this moment, I would like to welcome up Bill Shaw to give us a quick prayer to start with. So, Bill.
Let's pray. Our Heavenly Father, we're grateful for this beautiful opportunity, this beautiful backdrop, this wonderful day that you've provided. We're grateful for the opportunity to remember the heritage of Rebecca, and we're so grateful for all that she exhibited during her life, her compassion, her faith, her conviction, and her perseverance. So we just pray as we honor tonight's recipient that you would be present in her life, and that she would get an encouraging presence from you as we honor her for her work on this day. So we just ask now that you would bless this time, bless this food, strengthen us, encourage us, and we ask it in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Yep. Thank you again, Bill. Yep. Welcome to the Lukens National Historic District. I'm your president, Scott Houston, and we really lucked out with the weather. I hope everybody took their allergy pills. I know I have taken mine. But I really appreciate everybody sharing their time with us tonight. I know that this is a great time, May, a lot of people taking advantage of the outdoors with other great community events, and some of them are great friends, and I know everybody's really stretched thin these days, so I really do appreciate everybody's time for coming tonight for a great event. Tonight, what we're going to do is, just to give everybody a brief rundown, is we will start out with the scholarship, the Charles Lukens Houston Scholarship Award recipients, and then we have the Eugene DiUrio Volunteer of the Year Award, and then we will hear from Susanna Brody as Rebecca Lukens before getting to the Rebecca Lukens Award. But I do want to thank, there's a lot of people out there. I know this may seem tedious, and I'll just try and run through everybody, but it is important to me. They are the people that make this place go. The board of directors is very helpful. Jeff Rohr is the vice president. Pete Nunn is the treasurer. Bill Keene is the secretary. My dad, Charles Lukens Houston III, it's always a pleasure to work with him on the boards. Algie Antonio, Harry Lewis, Larry Jameson, Barbara Travellini, and Martha Sciatis. So it's great to have them for their support and dedication and critical thought. Really appreciate that. And real quick, I'll run through the staff just to give you a sense of what it takes to kind of our organizational scope and scale. But we have Jim Ziegler is our executive director. He's here tonight. Juliet Hansinger is our program manager in the back, and she's in charge of all our programs and educational events. So hopefully we can, give her a round of applause for all she does. Leanne Zolovich is our marketing, and Melinda Williams as well with sales, and they really are the ones who call up and really develop the relationships with tickets and sponsors. Thank you very much to MacElree Harvey, tonight's lead sponsor. I was explaining, I think, to Michael a little bit. I spent an summer interning there, and it was great to get to know Judge D.T. Marone and work with Mr. Featherman, and it's a great firm in Chester County. So we really want to thank MacElree Harvey for tonight as well. I guess I spent that summer there, and I decided that I did not want to be a lawyer. But I married one, so it's great. But there's more staff to help out with. Kathy Bratton, the collections manager, with the Rebecca Lukens exhibit inside. That's very interesting. Kathy Franciscus and Allison Connolly are administrative help. And then on the property side, Sharon Tandrich, Franny Shiraki, we have Kirk Beard, and new is Aaron Wojciechowski, who helps with the grounds. So it's quite a great group of people, and I'm really happy to work for and with everybody there. So again, thank you, everybody. I want to get started then with the Charles Lukens Houston Scholarship. So I'd like at this point in time to call up our two recipients, if they could come forward at this point in time. Yep. I did let them off the hook. I did say that they, feel free. You can speak if you want to. And thank everybody, Mom and Dad, I'm sure. Or maybe I just did that for you. But, I think that I want to introduce tonight's Scholarship Award recipients is Jordan Fica and Mark Kreidman, right? And I really appreciate tonight. This is a tradition that we started in the 50s and 60s with my grandfather at Lukens. And he, as the president and board of directors of Lukens Steel, established the Charles Lukens Houston Fellowship Foundation in honor of his father, and that was a scholarship award that the company would give to family members going through the Coatesville Area School District who worked for Lukens. And that had a great alumni group. And we really wanted to continue that tradition after Bethlehem Steel and the mergers. We revived it, and Dad is here. So we want to really thank the Houston Foundation and the Stuart Houston Charitable Trust, and through their family connections in the steel industry, recognize the importance of science and engineering contributions and encourage the continuing pursuit of education in those careers. Therefore, 2 scholarships, $1,000 scholarships, are available for educational materials to a graduating senior from the Coatesville Area School District. And Mark and Jordan are those recipients. It's great there's criteria, but we have a group of people that get together and we review the applications, and it's always great to get to know a little bit of the insight of the local students and the seniors. And it's interesting, as well that I'll start with Mark. Mark, a 4-year French club major, 2-year National Honor Society member, varsity track, Leo Club, 2-year member, a Read Across America, 3-year volunteer for Relay for Life, and a 4-year varsity football team member and captain. So I'm sure his time has been well used, and he's I think a 97-point average. So what struck us great was But what struck us as well was just wanting to become a civil engineer, allowing to help the nation, and from the inside out, and becoming an engineer has been a dream of his. And Mark will be attending Drexel University. Jordan is as well. Also, she's a member of the National Society for High School Scholars, Distinguished Honor Roll, National Honor Society. Jordan is involved with the Chester County Chambers Youth Leadership Program, Leo Club, and French Club, as well as varsity volleyball. Jordan volunteers for the ASPCA and SAD. We are particularly struck by her planning to build and design structures, LED certified structures, environmentally sensitive structures, not only a benefit to the community but also the environment. And she aims to work with a multinational corporation to do this, so it's not a small dream. So we really are ecstatic that these 2 individuals represent this year's scholarship recipients. And I would be remiss if I didn't say this, is that Lisa Doan Harley's here. And she was both of your middle school teacher, right? Right? And I think she also has 80% track record of all of our recipients, so. But a teacher, so. Yeah, here are the 2 recipients. So again, Jordan and Mark, we present the scholarship award to you. All right, yeah, thank you very much, guys. Really appreciate it. Good luck. All right. It is great. We are getting quite a group of young participants with a history and a good alumni group. So we encourage you to come back at any time, and our door's open, and it's great to help out. The next part of tonight's evening then is our Volunteer of the Year Award. And it's interesting, where we are and all that's around here. It definitely started in one room with one person. And Gene DiOrio is here tonight. I know, where's his red seersucker? Yeah, there you are, right in front. And how could we overlook you? It's great. Gene, the AF Houston House, Greystone Mansion is really where it all started, with a group of volunteers in a room trying to do some history about the city of Coatesville. That exhibit is still forthcoming. However, we've acquired Greystone, Terracina, the office building, Rebecca's house, and we've put together quite a list. So at this point in time, I want to call up Gene DiOrio, our program manager, Juliet Hansinger, and tonight's recipient of our Volunteer of the Year Award, Patty. If you would all come up, I believe that Juliet will introduce Patty, and we'll hear about the great work that she's done. So at this point in time, I'd like to welcome them up. Gene.
All right, as Scott said, the award is named after Mr. Eugene L. DiOrio, and he is one of the founders of the Greystone Society, which is the organization that drives the National Iron and Steel Heritage Museum. So we owe quite a lot to him. And he has been pivotal in this organization since 1984. So we're celebrating our 31st year this year. So thank you very much to him. The award is given each year to the volunteer who demonstrates in a special effort to the museum and the community, and who has dedicated the most hours of service to the museum. We recognize our recipient this year for her outstanding service as a volunteer of the museum since 2012. She has been an integral part in the development of our gift shop and in welcoming group tours, in addition to her workplace, Pennsylvania American Water in Coatesville. With over 150 hours of service to our organization, she is truly valuable to us. It's an honor to present the 2015 Volunteer of the Year Award to Patty Hudock. Thank you so much.
You too.
Everybody.
Just take your own name tags off.
Yeah, they flash.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, they're tight.
Can we squeeze in?
Oh, sure, we can squeeze in.
Good, right?
This will be a boilerplate, you know.
I know. Yeah. All right. Yeah. You said one more. All right. Yeah, Patty.
Congratulations. Thank you. Well deserved.
Thanks, Patty. Okay. Yes, you can hold on. You can hold on that for a night, and we'll put it. Yeah. So the Volunteer of the Year Award will be placed. It's a permanent plaque that we have, and it will go. We have a volunteer room and space in the office building, so that will be put on display there. But we really appreciate, the volunteer effort is really what drives a lot of nonprofit organizations, and Patty exemplifies that spirit. So thank you again, Patty. And now, at this point in time, we'll move into the Rebecca Lukens award portion of the phase, and at this point I would like to welcome up Susanna Brody, and she will take us back in time. So, thank you.
Scott.
Welcome to my home. My husband, Dr. Charles Lukens, and I first came here to the Brandywine Iron Works in 1816, about the time our daughter Elizabeth was born. Everything was in dilapidated condition about the house, mill, and farm. Repairs were needed that were quite expensive. My husband was very discouraged. I often told my father, that it was scarce right that we had so much to do, that the ironworks should have been put in good working order before we came. His reply invariably was, "What you're doing now will benefit yourselves, for when I am gone, this ironworks will belong to you." Those were very difficult times. My husband exerted much energy and expense in repairing and refitting the ironworks to roll boilerplate. Now this was quite risky, for it was a whole new branch of the iron industry, but he had high hopes for its success. Does he know that my husband, Dr. Charles Lukens, was the first iron master in America to successfully roll commercial boilerplate? But those were difficult times. Natural disasters and deep personal losses. In June 1825, I lost my dear and excellent husband and commenced my long, bitter, lonely struggle with life. This parting by death is a sorrowful thing for those that are left behind, to mourn the loss of what gave them pleasure in life. I will not dwell on my feelings back then. When I looked around me, there was difficulty and danger on every side. Charles asked me to continue with the ironworks, and I promised to comply. My mother thought as a female I was unfit for such a concern. I respectfully replied to her that I must make the attempt. I urged the promise I made to my dying husband, the duty I had to my children, and that according to Father's will, the ironworks would be mine in the near future. Necessity is a stern taskmistress, and my every want gave me strength. And so, with great fear, but more courage, I began my struggle to make a living. I think I must have possessed some energy of character, for I look back on it now and wonder at my daring. With the help of my brother-in-law, Solomon Lukens, I have now completely rebuilt the ironworks, made repairs to the mansion house, built substantial tenant houses for my workers, and made improvements to the farm. Now, our business is dull enough, and the competition is all around us. But I have built a superior mill, though a plain one. And our character for rolling boilerplate stands first in the American market. Now, I could continue all evening to go into more detail about my struggles with this company, but we are not here this evening for that. We're here to honor another woman of courage and commitment. And for that, I will return you to the hands of my great, great, great grandson, Scott Houston.
Yep. Thank you, great, great, great grandmother. So, yeah. It is nice to have Susanna. She's such a scholar and has done a lot of research into Rebecca, and we're very happy to have her a part of what we do here. And as well, I just would be remiss again if we didn't mention that she has been very helpful in the letters that we've gotten from Rebecca and translating them and finding out a little deeper meaning about who Rebecca Lukens is. But what we have tonight is definitely a time where we can look back and compare yesterday and today, and look, and there was a time when women couldn't do a lot of things, either by by trade or necessity, but they're very capable. And we have great pilots. I think a Blue Angel, first female Blue Angel pilot recently, and doctors and engineers and lawyers and CEOs of companies. I believe that it is recent Philadelphia Inquirer article about the Fortune magazine 10 most powerful women, and 8 of them worked in the field of STEM, and that is science, technology, engineering, math, in those fields. And I believe that Jenny Romay, about she's CEO of IBM, Mary Barra, CEO of General Motors, Indira Nooyi, the CEO of Pepsi. She, even though it's a consumer product, she earned her degree in chemistry. And then, of course, there's Marissa Myers, CEO of Yahoo, and down the river, Ellen Coleman, the CEO of DuPont. And I think that those are great, and those are very newsworthy, happenings. Yahoo and Marissa, and it's good to take contemporary women and the heroes that we find in those stories, and try and compare and contrast a woman who lived right down the street about 200 years ago. And the trials and tribulations. It's a great story. If you're not familiar, Rebecca grew up in wealth and privilege and the Quaker background, very well educated. She was married happily. Things are moving along, and then her father dies, her husband dies, son dies. It's a great, might be a CLE on Wills and Estates one day. I don't know, but I don't want to bore anybody to death. But it's her mother sued, that great suit back and forth between Rebecca and her mother that goes all the way to the Supreme Court, and how Rebecca got the mill on a deathbed promise. But Rebecca's will is very detailed and held at the Chester County Historical Society for anybody who wants to review it, or Chester County Archives. But tonight we're very happy to have Mary Ann here to represent today and modern day Chester County hero. And that's really what we look for. The Rebecca Lukens guidelines, again, something to honor the first female industrialist, Rebecca Lukens, credited with holding many different businesses, a farm, a steel mill, distribution and shipping. They were independent businesses, and they did not give breaks to each other. So she's seen as the first female industrialist, and this, what we wanted to do is highlight some of those qualifications that Rebecca is, that we look up to, and leadership. Rebecca managed the firm and rebuilt the mill in 1834, and led the company through the panic of 1837. And she says she didn't fire anybody. I think she probably just repositioned them in their jobs, but that was something she was proud of. She was resilient. She was taken to court over water rights, and even though it was unheard of for a woman to go to court and having such rights. And it's also very interesting that my wife, who is the great lawyer of the family, is descended from the Coleman family, and how Rebecca sued the Colemans because they felt that they had given an inferior bar. And the Colemans fired back that, well, it must be your process. And but for Rebecca to challenge the Colemans was as well just a Pennsylvania landmark with what she was doing. But she was just trying to run a business, and she was courageous with all of the family members dying around her and her mother wanting her to do different things. She was steadfast in her direction, and she stood by who she was, 31 and pregnant, and trying to run the steel mill. She was also very strategic. My notes here say, New York to Boston, Cincinnati to New Orleans, she had selling agents. The new records show that she also had a selling agent in Albany, New York, which is a new finding from some of the, just adding depth to the story. So not just a local entrepreneur, but definitely at that time, dealing throughout the United States. But that's why we come together each year. The process is that we convene late in the year, and we get together and review nominations. And then we get together early in the year when the vote's taking place, and we welcome the recipient with a lunch here at Greystone, which was great to get to know Mary Ann. A plaque will be placed. Here's the plaque. That will be placed with Rebecca's rolling mill. The model is currently in the office building, and that's where it's been for a number of years. But the plaque will stay with the mill model, and to honor Rebecca Lukens and the contributions. I want to thank as well the committee, Jean DiOrio, Francis Sheehan, Brandywine Health Foundation. She's been very instrumental. Steve Cunningham, Coatesville Savings Bank. He's not here tonight. Dad is very helpful. Susanna Brody, and then pardon me, past recipients. Barbara Travellini's here tonight. Carol Davidson representing Nancy Hannum is not here. Tammy Miles is here tonight. I didn't get to say hi. I'm going to say hi. And then Regina is here, and Regina Horton-Lewis. Molly Morrison is here as well, and Juliet Hansinger as well as on the committee. And last but not least, Al Giantonio is as well on the committee. And Al, I'd like to welcome up Al. Al is the past president of Yerkes Engineering and would like to introduce Mary Ann tonight. So, Al.
Well, thank you, Scott. Scott has told you about the Rebecca Lukens Award and why it's given. And it has been my privilege to know and work with this year's recipient off and on for more than 20 years, assisting her in engineering-related matters in her representation of the law firms she has worked for, helped organize, expand, and ultimately managed to retain the repeat business of many satisfied clients. Most of you have seen or met her this evening for the very first time. And it is evident at first glance that she is of rather small physical stature compared to some in this gathering. And that may also be the first impression that many opposing attorneys in cases she has argued might also assume. That may give them a false level of confidence about the potential outcome of the case at hand. They quickly learn, however, that our recipient is a force to be reckoned with in not only local municipal hearings, but in any county, state, or federal courtroom in which she practices. Before appearing to represent a client in any of these venues, her case preparation is as complete and thorough to the smallest details as any attorney that I have ever personally worked with. And I can truly say that I have never seen her conduct herself in any situation in other than a professional, straightforward manner to address an issue, no matter how heated it could have been, with a calm and level temperament that was sometimes unnerving to the opposing counsel. In her leadership demonstrated in the management and growth of her respective law firms, in her resilience and courage overcoming personal health-related challenges, and in the strategy she developed in her own current firm to expand the client base of her own and that of the attorneys that work with her, she exemplifies the business acumen demonstrated by Rebecca Lukens in her most trying times and challenges of a woman in business in the early 1800s. With this very brief thumbnail sketch of my experiences working with her, it is my sincerest belief that our recipient for the 2015 Rebecca Lukens Award couldn't have been a more appropriate choice. And I would like you all to help me now welcome from the firm of MacElree Harvey, attorney Mary Ann Rossi.
Thank you, Al. I appreciate that very much. Well, this whole journey has been overwhelming. From the initial phone call, through the luncheon, through the preparation, through tonight, it has been overwhelming. But I am delighted to have been invited into the steel mill community. And I am honored to share this award with so many amazing women who have come before me. When I thought about what I might say tonight, I realized it would be presumptuous to talk about Rebecca Lukens, especially with Rebecca Lukens here. I certainly was not going to talk about me, but I thought, well, maybe I should talk about how I got here. What set me on the trajectory that ended with me standing before you this evening? And there were really two major influences. The first influence were my parents. My parents always gave back to the community. They always helped out. They were always there for people. I remember as a child in parochial school, we always had little boxes to save money for starving children or for medical or for disaster relief. And so they modeled it to me. They modeled community service. The second major influence was actually MacElree Harvey. When I first started practicing law after the all-consuming experience of law school where I didn't do anything for anybody because it was just it took everything to get through it. When I started as a young associate, I remember a partner at the firm at that time, Robert Schenken, now Judge Schenken, saying to a group of associates, "You are going to make your living from this community. You are going to rely on this community. You must give back. You must be involved. And you must be involved in causes that you believe in so that you can honestly and enthusiastically serve those causes." So that's how I got here. What keeps me here? What keeps me here are the people that I work with, the people who serve on boards with me, the friendships that I've established over more years than I'm going to admit to, and the joy of working shoulder to shoulder with folks to get things done for causes that are important. And I'd like to end tonight with a little story. Jeff and I traveled to Italy, and our travel agent arranged for a tour guide to take us through the Vatican. So we waited at the appointed spot, and presently we saw ourselves being pointed out to a young lady. She was a vivacious, beautiful Italian girl, and her name was Valerie. And she said to us, "Are either of you Italian?" And I said, "Well, I'm half Italian." "Where are your people from?" I said, "Abruzia, I'm Bruzzese." "You're Bruzzese? Do you know what they say about the Bruzzese?" And I said, "Yes, testadora," which means hard head. And she got all excited. She lit up like a candle, and she said, "That's right, testadora." And when I look at Rebecca Lukens and her character, and when I look at the women who have received this award before me, and when I look at the women I work with day to day, you know what? We're all a little testadora. Thank you very much.
Last one, vote.
All right. Yeah, now if you just wait here, then we'll get on with the portion. Thanks very much, sir.
All right. At this point in time, I'd like to have Jean DiOrio come up. I know there's a few citations, and I think we'll get started with those.
Thank you, Scott. And I'm particularly grateful. He usually introduces me as a founder, which is a gracious way of indicating how very old I am. But he skipped that tonight. Well, it's my pleasure and duty to introduce various people who are here to further honor our honoree. You might say this is the dessert course. You've heard the main course, and now I'm here. We're going to start off with the city of Coatesville, and I believe the president of the city council is here to make a presentation. Well, okay. Next course. We welcome the county commissioners. I believe Kathy Cazzone is here this evening. Kathy, if you would come up, please.
Not usually first, so thank you very much, Judy. It's good to see you. The good news for you is that I'm suffering terribly from allergies, so I will start to cough in about a minute and a half, so I'm going to make this really quick. It's always a privilege and a pleasure for me and the other commissioners to be able to participate in events that honor such outstanding citizens of Chester County. But as a woman, I must say, it's particularly an honor for me to be able to be here this evening and honor Marianne in this way. And certainly you followed in the footsteps of Mrs. Lukens and are truly deserving of this award. So I am here today on behalf of the Board of Commissioners. There are literally, I think, 5 events tonight, but I was asked by Commissioner Farrell and Commissioner Kickline to extend their congratulations to you as well. So I have a citation in honor of your award, and thank you for your service to Chester County.
Thank you, Commissioner Kazone, for that gracious presentation. Well, we're now going to look to the Pennsylvania State House of Representatives, and we have Harry Lewis, who is here. Harry, if you please come.
Thank you, Gene, and I do love that jacket.
I'll will it to you.
I'll wear it also. Good evening, everyone. Let me apologize. I have a couple things, and I just came from the eye doctor, so things are still a little blurry. And I'll explain why I told that story in a couple minutes. But I have the privilege tonight to be here, and I'm wearing a lot of hats. Being on the board of directors for the Iron and Steel Museum, I'm very proud. And to be from Coatesville, this is truly an honor for me to represent the House of Representatives, the General Assembly of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Another honor, as Commissioner Kazone stated, we're running all over the place. So I am not substituting, but actually Senator Denneman had to leave to go to another event, and I am also going to present to Ms. Rossi the Senate citation. Before I make the presentation, I'd just like to make a statement and personally congratulate our scholarship winners. To me, that means so much. And let me say this, ladies and gentlemen, our school district is very, very strong when you produce students like we had tonight receiving these awards. You know, our future looks great in Coatesville. You know, I hope they accentuate the positive, because you young people truly represent us in the most positive way. And now, this is going to be a rarity. Ms. Rossi, you also received a letter from the governor for our Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And if you would bear with my indulgence, now with my eyes, so if I make a mistake, bear with me, I would like to actually read the letter from our governor of the Commonwealth. To Marianne Rossi, it is with pleasure and great pride that I join with your colleagues, friends, and family as you are honored by the National Iron and Steel Heritage Museum with the Rebecca Lukens Award. The Rebecca Lukens Award is presented to the individual who demonstrates the fine qualities of its namesake: resilience, leadership, courage, and strategic outlook. As the recipient of this year's award, you deserve to be recognized for upholding these exemplary characteristics through your diverse work and volunteer experiences. Your dedication to the community service will serve as a shining example to all in the Commonwealth, and I am grateful for your continual efforts in making Westchester a better place and the Coatesville area. I put that in there, Governor. As governor and on behalf of all the citizens of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, I am honored to offer my congratulations on receiving this special recognition. Please accept my best wishes for great success in all of your future endeavors. Signed by his hand and the seal of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, Governor Tom Wolf. And Senator Denneman also delivered that letter, and I'm going to take the opportunity now, and this doesn't happen too often, but I'm going to present the Senate Award before I do the House of Representatives. I'm taking all kinds of privileges tonight. Ms. Rossi, from the Senate of Pennsylvania, this is a congratulatory citation from the Senate of Pennsylvania. One more. And now, Representative Corbin would also be very proud because I'm representing her also. And being from the area, this bears her hand and signature. And this is also for me and the General Assembly, the House of Representatives from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, the citation on your accomplishments. Thank you once again, and congratulations. Thank you much, Gene.
Thank you, Harry. Well, Mary Ann, you're going to have quite a collection of those things. The evening is not over yet. You've heard from the county and the state. And we have some national ones, which it's my pleasure to permit because they couldn't be here this evening. I hope I have the right ones here. These are from the House of Representatives. First from Congressman Pitts. The United States House of Representatives, the Certificate of Recognition is awarded to Mary Ann Rossi in recognition of your extraordinary involvement in the community and your receipt of the Rebecca Lukens Award. You are aptly deserving of this honor. You have generously given your resources while helping to improve the County of Chester. Through your participation in organizations such as Brandywine Health Services, the Chester County Fund for Women and Girls, and your former service as the President of Legal Aid of Chester County. You've demonstrated outstanding leadership and commitment. Furthermore, your service has honored the legacy, the principles of Rebecca Lukens. I'm honored to join in thanking you for your dedication and to our community. And this is signed by Joseph Pitts, a member of Congress, and this is, of course, Joe's district. So this is a special presentation. We're not done. Now we have also from Congressman Ryan. There's one here from him, I believe. Ah, yes. Ryan Costello, former county commissioner, now a member of Congress. This one isn't too long to read, not too many whereases, so. The Honorable Ryan A. Costello, 6th Congressional District of Pennsylvania. Certificate of Special Recognition is presented to Mary Ann Rossi, 2015 Rebecca Lukens Award, in honor of her dedicated service to the community and exhibiting the qualities of Rebecca Lukens: resilience, leadership, courage, and strategic outlet. Presented on May 15th or May 7th, 2015, Ryan Costello, member of Congress. And lastly, we have one from the United States Senate. Certificate of Special Recognition presented to Mary Ann Rossi. partner, MacElree Harvey, National Iron and Steel Heritage Museum, Rebecca Lukens Award, Patrick Toomey, United States Senate. So there you are. And I would be remiss if I didn't take the opportunity to add my own personal congratulations to our awardee. It's a great honor and a great pleasure to have you join our distinguished list. So thank you for so much.
Well, I want to second that. It has been a pleasure to get to know Marianne. It's been great, and continue to look forward as we rope you into our many responsibilities here. We didn't tell you about any of that beforehand. We're glad you're signing on work. So, yeah. But we really do want to thank everybody tonight. Marianne, Jordan, Mark, Patty. You know, it is really people that make historic organizations go. There will be no photoshopping of any photos. You know, that's historically inaccurate. But I do want to thank everybody for coming tonight. Enjoy the grounds, enjoy everything, and the camaraderie. But again, thank you very much for attending and taking time out of your night to be with us tonight. So thank you again.
Yeah, really. I think we have.